My name is John. Welcome to Addicted with BHB and Club Polo. Today we're talking about addiction and success from addiction, the way your life could turn out if you were to fight that battle within yourself. Today, talking to Will. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good. You were addicted before, correct?
Yes.
For how long?
For about 20 years.
20 years. How did it start?
2007, I got into a dirt biking accident and I was 18, and the doctor prescribed me oxycodone, 30 milligrams, 280 of them.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's back when we didn't have that function where you can do so many pills now. You could set a week now or...
Yeah, this is back when the doctors, there was a lot of those dirty doctors and they were just writing prescriptions for anything. And at that time, I had no idea what an opiate was, nothing like that. And
you're 18.
Yeah, and I'm just taking them as prescribed at that time for about 5 years, and then it just got progressively worse.
Wow. So so you're taking about one or two a day?
Well, I was prescribed 4 a day.
4 a day. Okay.
Yeah.
At 30 milligrams a piece.
30 milligrams a piece. And obviously the more you take them, the higher your tolerance gets, right?
100%.
And next thing I'm knowing is I by the end of the month I'm already running out. I'm already out, and this doctor that I had, he told me for $500 he'll write the same script if I bring people into him.
Wow.
And so that's how me selling the pills and being able to provide for my habit just, I elevated from there. And I did that for about 5 years.
On pills?
On pills, yeah.
So when you hit that level, right, there's a tolerance level with pills.
Yeah.
Everybody I know, I do addiction services as well. So I know for a fact that when you hit a tolerance level,
yeah,
you pick something else to give that a high again.
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you move to something else?
Well, this is how it happened. So when we were taking these pills, right, if you take them by mouth, it does something different. If you snorted them, it kind of had a different effect, and then we found out you can smoke them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why I lasted for about 5 years on them, because I would just switch up, and then it would just get taking them. I can do it as prescribed, but then when I started snorting them, I was taking a little bit more, and then when I started smoking them, I was taking more. You know what I mean? So it just...
What's the most you took at once?
In a day?
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 20.
20 pills?
Yeah.
At 30 a piece?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. How did you function?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Function with a little bit of meth.
With meth?
Yeah.
So it was pills and meth?
Yeah. Yeah. So the pills would get me coming down, the meth would bring me back up, and it would keep me at that level.
Okay.
To where I can still function, I can still do whatever I had to do. At this time, I had a job, I was working. So it was able to keep me on track to where I wasn't, too bad at that point. Yeah.
So now how long did you use meth for?
I've been using meth probably about the same time. They went hand in hand for me.
At the same time, okay.
Yeah.
So was there any other narcotics that you used?
Oh yeah, I've done everything.
Everything?
Everything. I've done cocaine. I've tried everything. DMT, GHB, crack, acid, shrooms. at that time, those were like party drugs to me, so it wasn't like an everyday process, everyday type of thing. I could do those things and not touch them for a little bit, you know what I mean? But the meth and the opiates or the heroin was like...
So heroin.
Yeah.
That was your main...
Absolutely.
Heroin was your main.
Absolutely. When I started doing heroin is what brought me to a whole nother ball game. You know what I mean? Of like reliance on something. You know what I mean? Because I had the pills and I had the doctors. You know what I mean? So when all that stopped, obviously heroin was the next best thing, you know what I mean, and so that's why I got hooked on that. And at the time, heroin was cheaper than pills, so it was a no-brainer to me. I was like, okay, but same thing with heroin, right? Over time, the more you're doing heroin, the more you're going to use, you know what I mean, because your tolerance goes up, and yeah, I just when I started doing heroin, I'm not a good thief, right? Okay. I don't want to go out and rob people, and I have this background of selling drugs. Okay. So my idea was, okay, well, I'm gonna sell drugs to supply my habit. Okay. You know, and that's what I did for 15 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you used for 15 years or you sold?
Both.
Both, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what year did you stop?
I got clean in 2023.
Well, that's recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And for me, it was the addiction of the heroin and everything was definitely hard to put down, but then I also got addicted to that fast-paced lifestyle. You know what I mean? And when you have the money to do the drugs, or the drugs are coming free, it is very, very hard to stop. You know what I mean? I don't notice that I have a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't notice that my life is becoming unmanageable, that I'm so focused on just numbing myself that everything on the outside is just numb and I don't care. You know what I mean? And I'm not really looking in at myself or anything like that until I happen to get arrested, or you know what I mean, and then even that,
things get worse.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
I have noticed even practicing in the field, and even personal life. I have friends of mine, family members who thought they had control. Mm-hmm. You know, I know what I'm doing. I know what to use. I know what not to use. How much to use. I'm in control of my addiction, and I felt like there was no control in your addiction. Did you feel that way?
Absolutely. I felt like I had control. Because at that time, when you're doing it, like, you think that, okay, I'd never OD'd, right? So I think that with me smoking it, I'm okay. And I feel like I have control because I have the drugs. You know what I mean? I'm not going out doing the most to supply myself to get what I need. You know what I mean? And everybody's situation is different. But definitely I felt like I had control until I realized that, like, man, I'm going to jail a lot.
So how long did you go to jail for? I mean,
for possession with intent to sell.
Okay.
I've been in jail, I don't even know how many times. I've done years at a time, like a year at a time. I haven't been up to prison. I always had a paid attorney, you know what I mean, to get me out of prison time, but I always would end up doing like a county year. You know, and I've done close to like 6 county years.
So were you ever on probation or?
Yep. Been on probation. I got a dishonorable discharge on one of them. Actually, on both of them. I just got off of probation in June this year.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. This time was a little bit different. The last time I was on probation, I only expired because I did a county year. Okay. And while I was in there, I expired my felony sentence that I had from sitting in the county for so long.
Okay. Wow. How do you feel being on probation?
Free.
I'm sure of it.
To be honest, right, it's not really a difference to me. This time around, when I got clean and I decided for myself, right, that I wanted to stay clean. There's no different to me now. I still do the same thing I was doing when I first started getting clean. Because for me, it was like, I don't know if I was just blessed or lucky or what, God looking out for me. But when I got out of jail, I only seen my probation officer one time. You know what I mean? For 2 years.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't check on you or what?
They're supposed to. But I was in a sober living.
Okay.
I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, and when I called him, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm not trying to go back to jail. Like, what do I have to do? And he told me over the phone, he said, bro, you're doing everything right. I'm not worried about you.
So he's probably been checking the house on you behind your back, maybe.
Maybe, you know what I mean? But as far as I know, I have no idea, right? And
Cause I've known people where they show up like every 2 weeks,
right.
And they just pop in out of nowhere, or after a holiday to see if you've done something.
Absolutely. And so I was like, what is this? Like, I'm just waiting the whole time, like, for this dude just to pop up, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really don't have anything to worry about. You know what I mean? I'm clean, sober. I'm doing meetings. I'm in a sober living. I'm working. You know what I mean? So I thought it was weird, but he just, those were his exact words. Like, bro, I'm not worried about you. Like, I have other people to worry about, and like, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, so you're okay. And
wow, that's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, you know, and for me at that time, right, I'm not gonna lie, right, it crossed my mind like, damn, this dude's not gonna check on me. Like, I can go do what I used to do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I was so sick and tired of that lifestyle I was living, and I wanted change so bad. And I seen all these people that were around me go from where I was at to something that was like nowhere in our line of sight.
Basically went like from the gutter to top of the barrel.
Yes.
And it inspired you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I jumped in. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
I had times where I was like, okay, like, is this really for me? But like, those were just like moments, you know what I mean? And like, I've yet, even to this day, right, I don't have any bad days anymore. I have bad moments. Okay. You know what I mean? But those moments pass. And as long as I know that those moments are going to pass, like, I know I'm going to be all right. You know, so when it was all said and done, and I like realized like this dude's really not coming to check on me at all. Like, I hit that fork in the road, right? Like, I can either go right or I can go left. Left would be what I used to do, or go on a new path and see like where this me being in recovery and sober will take me. And I just jumped on that. You know what I mean? It was the first time I had peace.
I see.
You know, and it was the first time I was really happy. And
it's interesting. I hear a lot of stories of like probation officers. I had a guy, federal probation. He's been on probation for 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's lifetime.
Yeah.
And no one's ever checked on him. And then he showed up on New Year's Day. The drug test him. Yeah. I hadn't seen him in years. He's like, I don't understand why. And the guy's like 80-something years old. It's crazy. But I mean, it's wild because I hear like some people tell me they're here on my back. They're watching me. I got a text message, where you at? You're watching your ankle monitor. I mean, I've heard a lot of things like, you know, like quick.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's wild though. But that's good though, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And them putting it like doing that with other people, right, is like, some people need that, right? Some people need that like really structured, I'm on your helmet type of probation officer. I mean, I might have needed that at the time, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't happen.
Right.
And I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Either
absolutely.
way, it wouldn't have mattered to me because I'm a firm believer of like, when you've had enough and you're done, you're done.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? And when it's not forced upon you and it becomes your idea to set down the drugs, the alcohol, or whatever your drug of choice is, when you come to terms with that, you have a better shot.
Right.
I see a lot of people like get forced into this, and then they're on that fence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so let me ask you this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about triggers and other things that come up, right? Okay, so because I've had people where if it's too good, it doesn't feel right and they fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the weirdest thing. Like I can't be this good. I'm supposed to be down here.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that?
Absolutely. It's a healthy fear, right? Like one of my fears is I'm afraid of success.
Okay.
Right? Because when I was successful, I felt like I was untouchable. You know what I mean? And being afraid of success is okay. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that, right? I had to learn that. And I'm literally like working on that like right now with my sponsor. You know what I mean? Because we just went over your whole fears inventory. And but it's a fear of mine. Because if I get everything that I want, right, it's that fear of like the unknown. You know what I mean? And like once I realize or I get in my head that I don't need to be in recovery anymore, I can do this without it, is where like I'm just gonna go downhill.
Okay.
You know? So but I've definitely felt like that for sure. Even sometimes to this day, like I'm just like I get in that little funk and I'm like, all right, I need to do something to get out of this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And just being able to recognize that today has been played a big factor in like my sobriety. As soon as I can identify those things, you know what I mean, then I can work on it right away.
Did you stay away from the people that were in that circle when you used to use, or what did you do? Did you get away from that? Because that's like one of the rules. Like you get away from the addicts in order to become sober.
Right. So this is my thing, right? And everybody has their own opinion on this, right? I can change the people, places, and things, right? But if I don't change what's going on inside me, then it doesn't matter the people, places, and things. Because I've done the whole geographical thing, right? I've moved out of state, moved to Northern California. There was 1,000 people in there in this town, and I still found heroin.
Yeah, well, usually small towns have problems too.
You know what I mean? And this is the thing, like, I hear it all the time, like, you gotta change people, places, and things. No, I mean, and that's cool, right? Some people gotta do that, right? But I had to change me.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Once I realized that it wasn't all those other things, it was me, and I started working on myself, it didn't matter where I went to. Like, today, I'm a free man. I can go where any free man can go. You know, I can go into bars, I can go anywhere, I can be around people. I help pull people out of the tunnels, you know what I mean? See people using all the time. I work in the field. Not a trigger for me.
So you currently work in the field?
Currently.
What do you do?
I'm a case manager.
Okay.
So I work mainly with the drug court clients.
Wow. So you get to go to court and leave?
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Amazing. Feels good, right?
Yeah. It's a total trip for me because I got kicked out of that drug court.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I work with them. And so, like, everything roles just completely reversed.
That's crazy.
You know, and I have these PO's numbers in my phone. And I have these core coordinators and all these things in my phone now. You know, and never, you told me 3 years ago, like, I'd be doing this, like, I'd called you a liar. You know?
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I think everybody has a history. Everybody has a history, no matter what it is. Everybody has a history, for sure. So what was your triggers? Do you still have triggers? What were your triggers before?
You know what's crazy is, I feel like a trigger for me right now would be playing video games. Which is wild, right? But I used to get high and play video games all the time. All the time. Sell drugs, play video games, sell drugs, play video games, do whatever. And and I don't even touch video games anymore. Like every once in a while, but it doesn't keep my attention like it used to. And so I was thinking about it, and somebody asked me like, what do you think a trigger is for you? And I was like, it might be that.
A video game.
Yeah, it might be that. You know, but even triggers today, like I really don't have them like that. You know, that if I do, it's just like a fleeting thing. You know, because I've these last 3 years, dude, I have done so much work on myself, and I continue to do so much work on myself that I have so many people in the recovery field, in the recovery world, right? And I think that's what helped me out so much. Like we call it a tribe, you know, and I found my tribe of people, and anytime I go through something, like I live with them, I work with them, I'm around them 24/7, right? And I learn to just open up and talk, like if something's really bugging me, you know. And once I do that, like I'm fine.
Wow.
You know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it keeps you connected.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you work at an agency that helps people.
Yeah.
That you went through your struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to agencies to help you?
I did. Yeah.
Was there like a time where like you went to an agency, you relapsed, you got kicked out, you did this, you did... I mean, what was your fight?
So I had no idea. So at the age of 25, I got put into a court program, and this is when I got introduced to AA or NA.
Okay.
And at that time, like, I didn't know what it was, right? What I pictured those recovery programs, the 12-step programs, was like old people in a circle smoking cigarettes, you know, and I was like, I'm nothing like these people. You know? Gotcha. And it just wasn't appealing to me. You know, I felt like I'm only 25. I still got so much time. So I ended up going back out. But like I tell people all the time, right? I had no solution. You know, just going to meetings wasn't enough. You know what I mean? I needed to do these 12 steps, and I needed to be of service, and I needed to do recovery, and I needed to have unity, but I was only doing one of the things. I was just showing up to meetings for my court program, so they knew that I was at least attending meetings. You know what I mean? And
like a compliance of care type deal.
Yeah, and then at that time, I didn't think that like alcohol was a problem for me, because I was only addicted at that time to the pills when I got into this program, and the meth, and so in my head, I was like, well, I can still drink. You know, I can still drink. You know, I don't drink like that. I don't drink like how these people are talking about how they black out.
No, that's crazy. Yeah.
You know, and what had happened is I would drink, and I would be off of whatever, but every single time I put alcohol in my body, I would go pick up heroin.
It's almost like the people who smoke when they drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that type of deal.
Yeah.
You gotta have both.
You know, and so then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, I can't even drink. If I'm trying to stay away from all mind-altering substances, like, I can't drink.
So drinking would be a trigger too then?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not a trigger, right? I can watch people drink, I can be around people drinking, but drinking will make me relapse on my drug of choice. Because once my head clicks, right, and I get that boom, what's going to happen is I want what I want. And what I want is heroin. And what I want is methamphetamines. Right? So I'm going to set that alcohol down, and I'm going to go get what I want. Okay. And then it's just a cycle. You know what I mean? Jails, institutions, thank God I haven't died, right? But that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's crazy too, because now a lot of the drugs that you're taking now have like fentanyl in them and stuff like that. They're mixing stuff. People are dying from that now.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, right now you don't even know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
At this point.
To be honest, like I thank God every day, because when I got clean, that's when fentanyl started blowing up. And I never shot up anything. I just smoked it or I dabbed it. Like if you were to dab wax, I would dab heroin just like that.
It's crazy. Like my uncle was a user, and he moved to New York to be home. He thought New York was a great place to be homeless. I don't know why he thought that, but they put him in a homeless apartment basically out there. And when fentanyl hit the mark, someone introduced him to fentanyl, an injection.
Yeah.
He injected it one time. They found him dead. 3 days later, he had died. He'd been dead 3 days in the apartment.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't know what it was. It was a new jump. It was just hitting the mark. And so I lost my uncle to fentanyl. So
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. And what scared me the most about that is, like I said, I didn't shoot up, right? But these people are smoking fentanyl and dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People breathe it in. They can.
Yeah. Or I've seen people touching it and ODing, right?
That's wild.
And what's wild is I was a heavy smoker. And so I knew that, looking back at it now, like if I didn't get clean at this point, I probably wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? Because I smoked that much that it was only a matter of time.
Have you seen people OD?
Absolutely.
Like company or personal?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
How does it touch you from being like a company side versus a personal side, the feeling?
I don't think it touches me in any different way, right? It's what can I do to avoid this from happening? You know what I mean? Even when I was out there, like, and I was selling heroin, right? I had rules, right? And this is weird, but I didn't sell to pregnant women.
Okay, that's smart.
I didn't. If you told me, like, you came up to me and you were like, "Will, I'm trying to get clean. Don't sell me heroin." Well, I had so much clientele, like, I would hold you to that. So if you told me that and people knew, they knew. Like, if you told me that, I wasn't gonna sell to you.
So you're a drug dealer with a heart.
Type of thing.
It's kind of interesting. It's really interesting.
And like, I've taken people to meetings. You know what I mean? Because at that time when I got into selling heroin, I had already been introduced to the rooms. You know what I mean? So when these people are like, "I'm trying to get clean," I'm like, "All right, I know where to go." You know what I mean?
So you're selling heroin, but then taking people to meetings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one of those package deals or something. It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just knew where it was taking people, right? And I've seen so many people go from having all this stuff and then they get addicted to it and losing it all so fast.
Yeah,
you know, and in any way I could help, I would try to help. You know, whether that it wasn't hurting my pockets. You know what I mean? If I lost a customer.
Right. Because someone got a couple more to fill the space.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. One goes into recovery, I'll get 3 more that are using. You know what I mean? That's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true.
And some of these people, like, I formed a really close relationship with, right? Because I would see them 2-3 times a day, every day for years.
And they bring other business with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know? And if I can help them, then I would. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I never looked at it like I needed to get help.
Of course not. You thought you had control.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It's got to be a weird feeling though. Like, I saved one but got one high.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a switch off. It's so.
Yeah. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not a bad guy.
Because you saved one.
Yeah. And it's crazy what what your head will say to you.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
plays games with you for sure.
Like, even if it's just one, right? I help this one person. That one person in my head would balance out all the hundreds that I've sold to. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's wild.
And yeah.
All right, so now let's see. Let's just take a little change here. Let's see. Things have gotten better for you. Things are going well. The agencies have helped you. Mm-hmm. You're staying balanced. Now it's been a short time, right? I heard things about you, like you're a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
All right, I heard about that. I don't know if that would be a trigger for me, money-wise. Yeah. I know that. I don't know how working for an agency gets you the sneakers you want. I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
But do you ever think about, like, man, if I was doing this again, I can buy all the shit I wanted again?
Absolutely. All the time. But the crazy thing is I didn't appreciate.
Didn't appreciate it. Okay.
You know what I mean? I didn't appreciate, because I've had the cars, the shoes, the house, had all the things, right? All the material things, you know? But I didn't appreciate it. I had this thing where, like, I can get things, and then I would lose them. I can never keep them. But I would be able to get it right back.
Because the streets always provide it to you.
Absolutely. You know, and like today, I get the things that I get to keep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you
like
appreciate
that,
it. You put the money out, you work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something about spending my hard-earned paycheck on a pair of shoes.
I know.
You know what I mean? And like,
I know.
And yes, like, it's a whole nother addiction, but it's a healthy addiction for me, right? Like, I can go and buy shoes. I'm not going to go out and rob somebody for them, or I'm not going to go out and commit crimes to go get these shoes.
Right.
You know?
So you took one unhealthy addiction for a healthy addiction.
Yeah.
No matter what, it still costs you, though.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make a difference.
Does it?
No, I think shoes are more expensive now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I talked about shoes a long time ago. I was like, we used to go to Foot Locker, and it'd be like two pairs for $89.99 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, now it's like $210 and $180, and
Yeah.
like, dude, what is going on right now?
Or I go to the shoe store and I got my girl with me, and from one pair of my shoes, she can get 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And it hurts.
No, yeah, but my wife wears a child size.
Yeah.
So she gets a child price.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is such bullshit.
Yeah.
And I go to those apps and look at your shoes in the apps, and depending on the size, the more expensive they are. Like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. I'm the same guy. I'm the same way. So what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing now? What is the change? What's everything you're doing? What's all the...
So my life is basically a peaceful life today. I don't have like stress and stuff like that. I work in the recovery field because when I was getting clean, there was something about being able to help somebody and get them from this point to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I felt like with my background and everything I've been through, right, I have 5 felonies.
5 felonies?
Yeah. I've done the most, right, and I felt like I would be able to relate to these people, you know, and at the time where I went, I didn't relate to some of the people that were working there, right, because they call them normies. And they just didn't understand where I was coming from, and that was just my head trying to make up an excuse, right, to slide up out of there. You know?
I've been called a normie before.
Yeah,
I've heard that before. Yeah.
But to me, like, everybody has an addiction.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Everybody suffers with some type of addiction, right?
Mm.
And I don't care. It doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. There's something that somebody like is going through, right? You know what I mean? And but I just at that time I just couldn't relate, and so I made that jump to work in recovery because I really wanted to help these people navigate through life, you know, like let them see, like, hey, like, this dude did it, maybe I can, you know. And I do a 12-step program, and it saved my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, the treatment's cool, right? The treatment's cool. These people that get these drug courts are cool. It's a good step in the right direction, right? But, like, I tell people all the time, like, what is your plan after? Like, when you don't have to do classes anymore, and you don't have to drug test anymore, and you don't have to check in with anybody anymore, like, what are you gonna do? You know? And a lot of these people are like, I don't know. And like, I tell people all the time, like, I'm gonna do this 12-step program for the rest of my life.
When you talk about 12-step program, do you ever, I don't know if you memorize them or not, you might. You say, I gotta go to number 4 right now. I got to think about number 4 right now. You just kind of read in your mind. Do you ever do that? Like some of the steps when you're going through your day, like it just kind of hits you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it help?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what the steps did was help me realize like what's going on with me, right? It was an internal thing. You know what I mean? The drugs and the alcohol were just a solution. I had to learn to deal with what was going on inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what those did for me. You know what I mean? Once I started going through these things, right, I started realizing like the things that there's something about putting pen to pad, right? And when I started writing down all my, character defects or my resentments or fears or whatever, you know what I mean? Me writing it down and reading it just hit me different than me just saying it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that process of doing these steps just helped me grow. You know what I mean? And helped me identify the things that were going on in my life that I really needed to work on. Especially like even when I was younger, right? There was things that I didn't really realize. But now that looking back at it, I'm like, oh, that was something. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to look into that, And things pop up here and there. But I have the ability to identify it today. You know what I mean? Instead of numbing it.
Mm.
So when these emotions or whatever they are, they come up, I can identify it. You know what I mean? And I can work on it.
So, okay. Yeah. Well, I think identification is like one of the processes. You have to identify it.
Yeah.
Observation is a humongous thing around you at all times. I know for me, even personally, like I observe friends of mine, like what are they doing? I've had somewhat recently, I had a friend of mine that came back into my life and I thought it was good and it was bad and I had to cut them off.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I want to see big change.
Yeah.
And that part hurts.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that? Do you ever go through that? You ever cut somebody else that just can't do it?
Absolutely. I had to, right? And I heard this in the rooms, and this has stuck with me for the last almost 3 years. He said, if the person doesn't want the best from you, they don't deserve the best from you.
Correct. I agree with that.
You know what I mean? And I've had to cut off baby mamas. I've had to cut off family members.
I cut off baby mamas anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had to cut off friends, right? But
any family?
Family, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it hurts, right? But at the same time, like when I've done so much damage, right? To like family and friends and baby mamas and
you got babies?
Yeah.
You do? Two. You have 2 kids?
2 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see your kids?
I'm in the process right now. Because I've done so much damage, right? Like, this is the thing, right? Getting clean doesn't promise me my kids back.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Did you lose custody?
To 1.
To 1.
Yeah.
Boys, girls?
Both boys.
Both boys?
Yeah. One's 17 and one's 7.
Wow.
Yeah. But I've recently just got to talk to both of them.
Oh.
You know what I
How'd
mean?
that
So,
go?
good. I'm just trying to be there now. You know what I mean? And I got to give them their space, and whenever they're ready, right? I'm not forcing anything on them. And as much as I want to, like, jump back in their life, like, I'm clean, I'm doing great, da-da-da-da. Like, I've done so much damage.
That you got to fix some of these things.
Yeah, and it's a process, and I have to trust that process.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. I'm just, letting them open that door instead of me opening it.
What's the worst damage you've ever caused that you wish you could take back?
Probably to my family, like my sister and my mom and them and my brothers, just up and disappearing. No phone call to them for nothing. And
for how
not
long?
Knowing, like 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. Didn't talk to them, didn't reach out to them.
Are they looking for you?
I don't know.
Did they ever tell you?
I mean, my mom would tell me she would think about me sometimes, and she would worry, and like how much I kept my mom up at night. You know what I mean?
Of course.
She said like when she would get those phone calls in the middle of the night, her like heart would stop. You know. And my older brother's a male nurse, and like he would see these ODs coming in, and like he'd be like,
didn't know if it was you or not.
Right. You know, and he was like, there'd be times where I'd be like, oh my God, my brother's gonna be one of these people that come in here. You know, and I never realized the damage I was putting on them. You know, because like I said, I'm out there running and gunning.
What about your sister?
Out of sight, out of mind. Same thing. You know, like my sister got clean, and I remember me going to jail this last time, and I transferred from the Henderson jail to the county jail, and I get upstairs and I have a visit. And I'm like, oh, and I knew it was my sister. I just had that feeling it was my sister, and I go to it, and I'm like, how did you know? And it's her. And I'm like, how did you know that I was in jail? And the look on her face, and she said, this last week was the first week that I've actually slept through the whole night. She was like, I thought you were gonna die out there. And like, she used to run and gun with me. You know what I mean? And at this time, she's like a year and a half clean. And she said, I don't know, I just, every night for the past week, I slept peacefully. And something told me to look for you in jail. And there you are. And like that I'll never forget seeing her face when she said that. Something like hit me, and I was like, oh my God, dude, like I put my family through so much. And like, even though I wasn't like homeless, right, and I wasn't stealing from them, and I wasn't asking for money from them, that me not being there and showing face and like letting them know I was okay was a lot.
Wow.
You know, and I didn't realize that. I thought out of sight, out of mind. You know, that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. I was there on I understand exactly what you're saying. I was there more on a gang type deal back in my days. I had my history too, and I remember my mother. One day I was leaving, suited up, and she actually grabbed me. She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going out. You know, I'll be back a little bit." And she goes, "Hold on, wait." And she ran over and she grabbed me by the face. She squeezed my face. It was the weirdest thing. She'd never done that before. And she brought me in, she kissed me, and she just stared at me blankly. Like, what's going on? Like, I was super confused, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I just want to see you. I said, Mom, I'll be back in a little bit. She goes, just in case you don't come back. I love you. And she told me stuff in Greek and everything else. And then, like, okay, Mom, I'll be back. Like, but it hit me. So, like, when I closed the door, I started walking in my walkway. I stopped moving. And I was like, yo, that was kind of like...
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It was the weirdest feeling I ever had in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had multiple of those. But that was the shitty thing about being addicted to drugs, right, is I would have those feelings and then I would numb it. So I didn't have to sit there and dwell on it or think about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just got to the point where it was like, fuck my parents, fuck my siblings, fuck the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't about money or drugs, I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And it was a shitty place to be in. You know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, growing up, is all you think about money.
Yeah.
Make sure your pockets are full at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and women. It was a big thing. Women too.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Speaking of that, so speaking of women, I'll just bring that up. Because they say dating during addiction is the worst thing ever. Okay, so I've heard this story many times. I say, don't date. I've told people, don't date. Let's fix you, and then we'll worry about dating.
Yeah.
And most people date within their circle.
Yeah.
Becomes a train wreck most of the time.
Yeah.
So, how'd that go for you? Oh, that's a good answer. It's a really good answer.
So, I sponsor guys, right? And I tell them this, like, so they say don't date within the first year, right?
Right.
Work on yourself. I kind of agree and I kind of don't agree with that. I feel like if a woman is a trigger for you, right? And if you're going to get in a relationship and you guys break up and you're going to go use over that, you need to stay away from that for a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? For me, that wasn't a thing. I never struggled in that area when it came to the women, right? And so, like, it wasn't worth me going back out over, you know? But I have dated inside of a circle. I've dated, like, people in their rooms. I'm currently dating a girl that's in sobriety too right now.
How's that go?
Great.
You say it 'cause it's on camera. You don't want to hear anything else.
No, to be honest, like, it's something different, right? I even dating other girls that being sober and them being sober, right? When you're dating somebody that's in recovery and they're working on themselves and they have their own program, you know what I mean? And their recovery isn't based upon your recovery, things work out really well. I've dated girls that I was I'm really involved, and they were only involved because I was involved. So, you know what I mean? They were only going to the meetings because I was going to these meetings.
Are you one of those?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a magnet for that shit?
Yeah. And,
now, know your choices in the past. Was it hard? Were you hard to be with? Were you one of those jumpy types? Like, you didn't stick with the chick?
Oh, so, like, when I got into recovery, it was like 3 months, dude. I figure I can get to know you in 3 months. You know what I mean? And I had, like, this 3-month rule. Like, if I couldn't see myself with you after 3 months, like, that's it. You know? Like, I didn't want to waste time.
Okay.
You know?
That makes sense.
And I would tell him out the gate, like if we last 3 months, then, like, then we can talk about other things. Like, don't expect me to move in with you before at least a year. You know what I mean? Because some of these girls are like, you can come move in. I'm not doing that.
No.
You know?
No.
Because one of my, like, another fear of mine is, like, okay, I do that, and then you kick me out and I'm homeless now. Like, granted, right, I would never be homeless, right? Because I have a good group and solid group of people around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, like, just the fact that, like, I don't want you to be able to hold something over me. You know? And maybe that's just from my past, right? Because I've had that done to me in the past.
Yeah, I feel like you go into something together, not into someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes a lot, you know what I mean? Like, I need to get to know you before I move in with you.
That makes sense.
And that's, like, what I'm doing right now. Like, I have my own spot. She has her own spot. We haven't even talked about, like, moving in. You know what I mean?
That's going to be a plus for you, right?
Yeah. You know?
She might feel the same way you do, then.
Yeah. I mean, she told me, too. She said, I can't believe we lasted longer than 3 months. So let me find out you have a 3-month rule.
She probably does.
Probably does.
She probably does. I just read on Facebook, somebody else I know who's in recovery put something up about, it was like a congratulations anniversary for 2 years. And said, I told him, you know, we got 90 days to understand my high expectations. And if it's not 90 days, then I'm gone type thing. I read this. I was like, wow, that's 90. What is that? So you just explained it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a thing in the recovery program.
Yeah. Well, it's just like we wasted so much time. You know what I mean? On the streets. And when I got clean, I was 36. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
And I've wasted so much time. I'm just not into wasting time. You know? Like, I'm not.
No, life's too short to waste time.
Yeah, you know, I want to be able, like, who doesn't want to settle down and you know what I'm saying, and have that one person and this, that, and the other, but it's hard, you know what I mean, and I've been in long-term relationships before, you know what I mean, and then it just not work out.
So what's your goal? What's your goals now? Let's say your relationship's going well, work is going well, recovery's going well, your shoe game's going well. Listen, everything's going well, right? Like, you feel good, right? You're rolling, the cop pulls you over, you don't give a shit anymore, no probation, you know, you cut people off, the triggers are... Listen, you got a big circle around you of great things.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to maintain this greatness?
Not change anything I'm doing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a single thing.
Not a single thing. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing since the get. You know? Why change something that has been working for me? This is where I see a lot of people mess up, right? Is they do all these things in the beginning and then they change up and then they go back out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
If I have to dedicate my life an hour a day to a meeting to keep what I have today, run it. To keep this freedom, this peace, you know? I don't care about the material things, you know what I mean? I've never had peace, I've never had freedom.
Right.
You know? I've never had those things. Ever. I didn't even know that they really existed, you know? And
is it fair to say that you created that no peace?
In a way. I worked for that peace, for sure.
100%.
You know, I worked for that. And now that I have it, it's probably the most valuable thing that I have today.
It's amazing, bro.
You know, and it's not worth me giving it up for anything. Not a girl, not a drug, not a job, not a nothing.
So what's your dream? What do you want to do with everything? Your future goals.
I want to leave back a legacy my kids can be proud of. You know, whatever that looks like, right? And even still to this day, I don't know what that looks like. And I'm trying new things, and I'm trying different things. I just want the people that I care about most to see that, yes, you know, I had my struggles, but I bounced back, and that it is possible. And it doesn't matter where you come from, you know, and just be that hope for people that feel like they have no hope, you know, that tell themselves every day that I can't do it, because I've seen thousands and thousands of people with totally different stories bounce back to being up there. Right. You know what I mean? Having all the things, the money, not having to worry about nothing, right? The businesses, all these things, you know what I mean? And they come from the bottom.
When we said earlier in the show, going from the gutter to the top of the barrel, where do you feel you're at?
The middle.
You're in the middle. What's top of the barrel?
I don't know. I can't even.
You confident? You feel successful?
Absolutely. But I always know I can grow.
Oh, everybody.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I always know that when I get to a point, there's always a higher point.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I set goals. Absolutely. And I've set 5-year goals that I've already knocked out.
You set up 5-year goals you already knocked out?
Yeah.
So what do you do now? The goals are knocked out.
Rewrite new ones.
What's your next goal?
Next big goal? Start a business. Yeah. I want to start a business that I can, some type of business that hires felons. Because for me, I feel like that is one of the hardest, it's hard for felons to get jobs. People look at us differently. People want to put us on they want to judge us, right? But the crazy thing is if you get a clean, sober felon, they're probably one of the hardest workers I've ever seen.
I agree. I think a lot of people get geared towards relapse and back to the street because there's no other option for them. And some of the options pay so low you can't independently live. And that's a big problem too.
Yeah, absolutely. The cost of living is so high and then they want to pay so low. And then they wonder why people are out doing crimes.
Correct.
Or they wonder why people are out, doing this, that, and the other to provide for where they're staying.
I agree.
100%. It's just, it's like this, you know what I mean? But I want to be able to, if I can start some type of company to where, I can hire these guys, right? Felon-friendly job, and there's a lot of them out there. You know?
Yeah, I know they won't hire this and hire that. The only thing here's what I don't like, and this is something we can talk about right now because this is going to be our next show. Okay, because what I want to do is I want people to understand that people go, oh, well, I smoke weed, but they'll still hire me because they can. But it's easy for any employer to say, oh, you know what, we went with the next person because that person didn't test positive for weed. They don't tell you why they went to the next person. They just take them to the next person. Yeah. It could be because you smoked weed. Yeah. It could be because of a background thing. It could be anything. I don't want to take the risk. Yeah. You know, a lot of these companies look at insurances right now and they think to themselves, well, I don't want to pay the extra. So let's go with the clean one. Yeah. And let that one find something somewhere else. Yeah. You know, it sucks.
And what's crazy, right, is that clean one that they think could just be better at hiding.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
They can just be better at hiding whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. And then there's another thing, too, with homes and apartments and background checks. I can't pass a background check. How am I going to be independent? Yeah. We got to get rid of some of these things. So there's a lot of things in addiction and mental health that has to change. Yeah. Especially when you're compliant with care, you're successful like you. You know people who are successful. You might know people who can't get an apartment because of their background check.
Absolutely. All the time.
It's crazy.
All the time. So, and then the apartments that they can get are right in the middle of the hood, right? Or
of course.
Right.
Where you don't want to be.
In drug central, you know what I mean? Right, where they're trying to get out of.
That's crazy.
But you want to put them back there when they're trying to do the right thing because of their background or because what they did in the past. And granted, right, there's some charges that are, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But,
listen, if you robbed somebody back in the day, does it mean you're going to rob me today?
Yeah,
no. No, it doesn't. You know, I mean, it's a thing. I mean, people make mistakes. Yeah. People sell drugs. They might not be selling drugs now. Yeah. Somebody stole it. You know, listen, like, let me tell you this. I have stolen my mom's car. I jacked that shit a lot. Yeah. Well, I never stole my friend's car. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of things that you got to think about, you know, but people don't. Yeah. You know, so this is something that we really got to talk about. Most of it. I appreciate you coming onto the podcast, talking about your success. I'm glad you're successful. I'm glad things are going well for you. Continue to help people because that's what you do. I hope that you do great things because it sounds like you want to do great things.
Absolutely.
100%. You know, slow down the shoe game. I might not be able to keep up.
That's all right.
I might not be able to keep up. You know what I mean? So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in with BHB and Club Polo and addiction. This is a big story about mental health and addiction and the changes in our lives. And our next podcast, we'll be setting the date for. And I'm hoping we could do it next Sunday. That's my goal. I'll find out. But if we could do another podcast, I want to do a story with everybody involved that we can talk about our agencies. We could talk about financials. We could talk about the independent living of people coming out of a different lifestyle. The background checks and employment and things that we got to change in this life to see success. People complain all the time that they don't want to see this on their streets. But what are you doing to create the difference to stop it from being on the street? You have to be the difference. You can't just complain about it. And we have a lot of people that want to make the change. I thank you. Have a happy Sunday. Enjoy your football day. Have a great day.